was a hot July day in 1954. Commuters were making their way through the airport in Tokyo, Japan. One man raised a certain degree of alarm for the Japanese officials. He was a conventional looking Caucasian businessman, but his passport was concerning. It contained stamps from all over the world. He was well traveled. He even had stamps from his previous trips to Tokyo. However, it showed that his country of origin was Taured. They pulled him aside to interrogate him for more information. The man was confused. How could you have not heard of Taured? He insisted. It's been around for 1,000 years. They brought him to a detainment room and showed him a map. Immediately, the man pointed at the border of Spain and France. Most specifically, he pointed at the Principalia of Andorra, insisting that this was his homeland of Taured. Custom officials found him in possession of money from all over Europe. But they called the company he claimed to work for, and they'd never heard of him. They called the hotel in Tokyo he had a reservation at, and they had no record of him either. Unsure of how to proceed, they moved the man into a hotel room attached to the airport. 2 guards stood outside that door. The window didn't open, but even if it did, it was a long drop onto the ground. Nevertheless, when the airport officials went to retrieve the man the next morning, he was nowhere to be found. He'd simply disappeared. This tale has existed for decades as an example of interdimensional travel. So here comes the fun part, folks. Is it real? Well, sort of. But not in the way it's told here. The man in question is John Allen Kuchar Zegras. In October of 1959, Zegras arrived in Japan with his Korean wife and obtained a visa using his fraudulent passport. 3 months later, in January of 1960, he was arrested for identity fraud when he attempted to cash 2 checks totaling 300,000 yen and a $140 traveler's check. Atsuki Sanza from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Public Security Bureau spearheaded the investigation. According to the official records during the interrogation, Zegras stated that he was born in the United States, moved to the United Kingdom through Czechoslovakia and Germany, and attended high school there. During World War II, he was a pilot for the Royal Air Force and was once captured by the Germans. After the war, he lived in Latin America. Later, he became a spy for the Americans in South Korea, served as a pilot in Thailand and Vietnam, and after that, he was assigned by the United Arab Republic. He arrived in Japan for a secret mission in which he was going to recruit Japanese military volunteers for the United Arab Republic. On August 10th, 1960, he stood trial for his crimes. During the court case, he claimed to work for both the FBI and the CIA. The Tokyo District Court sentenced him to 1 year in prison. When the translator read Zegras' sentence, he produced pieces of broken glass from his mouth and attempted to cut his wrists. 3 guards quickly subdued him, and he was taken by ambulance to the Kayadashi Hospital. He was later deported to Hong Kong, and his wife was sent back to South Korea. An alternate version of this story also appeared in The Province, a Canadian newspaper. On August 15th, 1960, in this version of the story, it claims that John Zegras was a nationalized Ethiopian and an intelligence agent for Colonel Nasser, the second president of Egypt. He was issued a passport from Tamanrasset, the capital of Taured, south of the Sahara. Taured is still not a country, but it's suggested that it may have been a misspelling of Tuareg, a people from Algeria and the surrounding area. Tamanrasset is, in fact, a province in Algeria. This version of the story was also used as an example by the British House of Commons as a reason why passports aren't great security measures. Regardless of which version of the story we go with, it's fairly certain that John Allen Kuchar Zegras did not magically disappear. More than likely, he was an American-born con man, not an international spy from Egypt, the United Arab Republic, America, or anywhere else. This was a story that got out of control, born from sensationalized headlines such as The Mysterious Man from Turin and the most convincing real-life tales of time travel.